I mean, I would, but, you know, I'm not God, but I would say, you know, if you're elected to Congress, you know, and what are you doing all day long sitting there?
Mm-hmm. And if he does this on multiple occasions, doesn't it show a certain recklessness in him?
Sure.
And a pattern? What do you think of the pattern, knowing as one of the people that is sort of a victim of it in a way?
I wouldn't say victim, but I would say, I don't know. I mean, he obviously has some issues with impulse control or something, you know, something he has to feel wanted some way. So, and this obviously fulfills him. I don't know. Maybe he's searching for something. I don't know. You know, I can't speak for him.
But if you're going to be a congressman and your judgment is in question, and you have impulse control issues, oh, I know the other photo. Wasn't the other photo of the original one that was leaked to the press of him in his underwear?
Oh yeah.
Okay, he sent you that one too. And you know, you're looking at this. You're 26 years old, and you know you're still pretty young, and a congressman's doing that. Do you conclude maybe that he might not be, when he didn't resign? Did you think maybe it was appropriate for him to resign?
You know, I'm not going to go into all that. I don't. That's up to him, you know, and whoever elected him, how they feel about that, and.
How did you first get contacted by ABC?
A mutual friend did. Just.
And said what? And how did that?
Just threw it out there. That was like, you know, these people want to talk to you.
Right. And did you were unhappy with their coverage because why? You were.
I just feel like certain, you know, snippets were taken out, you know, and I don't sext people all day long. I don't do this all the time. I have a life. I go to school. I have a child. I work, you know. You're
not sitting at Facebook all day.
Yeah, I don't sit at Facebook all day long and dream about people I can talk to. So, yeah, I just thought that, you know, I didn't realize the whirlwind that this was going to bring. I didn't understand all that. You know, I'm from a small town. That doesn't mean I'm dumb, but, you know, I'm not used to all
if I was thinking, if I tried to put myself in your position in this way, if United States congressman is writing me, what, almost every morning for a while? How are you? What's going on?
Well, I didn't think it was him, you know, And
then when you but you did find out at one point it was him.
Sure.
And then he sends you the pictures. I don't know.
I honestly thought, okay, he's going to get hemmed up. Like, I just knew that.
You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was inevitable.
Yeah, because, and I just knew.
How are your family and friends reacting?
They're okay. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong, and everybody knows how I am as a person. I'm pretty straightforward, and I'll tell you what's up. So that's why I just, you know, came forward just to let people know.
All right. Well, we appreciate you sitting down with us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. Thanks, Megan. Nice to meet you.
You too.
And coming up, a new shock poll reveals just how many Americans think that they're going to be worse off when they head to the polls in 2012. Brace yourself, Mr. President. But first, should Anthony Weiner keep his job? We'll examine his claim that he did not use government resources when conducting his online affairs. Dana Perino and Stuart Varney are here with the analysis. That and much more coming up next. So should Anthony Weiner resign? Now, he says no because he did not use government resources to conduct his online affairs.
My BlackBerry is not a government BlackBerry. My home computer is usually where I did these things. I don't have a knowledge of every last communication, but I don't believe that I used any government resources.
All right, but now, like so many of Weiner's statements, this appears to be a lie. An email unearthed by TMZ reportedly shows Weiner asking former porn star Ginger Lee, quote, did you talk to a professional PR type, or do you need to get advice? I can have someone on my team call. While it's not clear whether the members of that team that Weiner refers to were members of his congressional staff, it certainly sounds like it. And Megan Broussard, who you just heard from earlier, says that she received a phone call last month from Weiner's congressional office. Now, the congressman also used his office to mislead several reporters, including our own Bret Baier. Do you remember this?
You definitively didn't send it, but you can't definitively say whether it's you or not.
I can definitively say that I did not send this. I can definitively say it looks a lot like a prank and a joke about my name. I can say with certitude that I have hired someone who is going to come in, deconstruct this as best they can to make sure this doesn't happen again. And I can also say, like hundreds of thousands, unfortunately, of Americans who wake up one morning and find out that their account was compromised or that someone had sent out something under their name that they didn't send, I roll up my sleeves, I try to dust it off, and I try to figure out how we make sure that that doesn't happen again.
All right, and with an ethics investigation now pending, how long can the congressman hold on to his job? Joining me now, Fox Business Network host of Varney and Company, Stuart Varney, former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor Dana Perino. Oh, it's kind of breathtaking.
That was painful. That soundbite there with Brett Baier, I thought that was really painful, bearing in mind what has transpired since.
I can definitively say lie, with a certitude,
Please.
lie.
I think the Democrats are doing a calculation. Which is worse, a nasty, ugly investigation that drags on and on and on, or the loss of a champion of the left? I think they will consider that an ugly investigation dragging on is worse and therefore will try to pressure him to resign. But he doesn't have to resign. He should, but he doesn't have to.
What I don't understand is, what are we investigating? I mean, why are taxpayer dollars going to be spent to investigate something he admitted? And
well, he didn't know, but he denied
that it was. So that's we're going to use taxpayer resources to go through a long, drawn-out investigation to find out if he used a particular BlackBerry, and that really isn't the issue that people are upset about in his district.
For me. It's about, first of all, his obviously compulsive, uncontrollable behavior, because rational people don't act like that. You don't send pictures like he did to Megan Broussard, who's a victim here. You don't send pictures of your private parts to a 26-year-old girl that you only met online in late April.
Well, apparently a lot of people do. And
a congressman?
Look, I'm not saying, look, I don't care what they do in the privacy of their own home, is whatever.
With poor judgment and compulsive behavior?
I'm not condoning the behavior. I'm just saying
Sounds
that
like you're defending
I'm not defending him. But I do think that the week-long...
Look, Congressman Weiner was pushing for full social...
I can just see, like, what's like the synonym of establishment for... I'm not defending the behavior. I'm just saying that the ethics
let me ask it another way.
Strange.
He obviously has some impulse issues.
Yeah.
All right. He's a congressman. You know, he has, you have to have security clearances to become a congressman. Sensitive information comes across his desk. He's putting himself in a compromising position where he can be bribed.
Not only that, but the thing that I thought about today is that if he were in the private sector, he would have been gone like that.
Like that.
And you have people that are unemployed today looking at this and saying, and he gets to keep his job? And I have to pay for the privilege of him being able to keep his job? That's what's outrageous.
If he were a Republican, he would have been gone in 30 minutes.
Well, then they will.
6 minutes.
Okay, under John Boehner, that is true. Okay, we found that in New York 26 with Representative Chris Lee.
But
it's not always true with Republicans who have stayed in office after something like this.
Listen, I agree. There have been, but this is a little bit different.
I agree.
Because it's showing and I'm not a psychoanalyst, I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV, but it's showing some really deep-rooted impulse compulsive issues.
No question about
that. I don't have any faith that he should have access to.
But to get out there and do such a barefaced series of lies.
Right.
In-your-face lies. Now,
and then to tell poor Ginger Lee, the porn star, the way he did to lie. I mean,
Well, you think about his staff as well. I mean, for a staff member, having been a staffer for a long time, to be asked to do something like that is, to me, unheard of. And again, I think we're talking about a situation where he didn't just call one reporter in for a week. As Fred Barnes last night said on Special Report, this wasn't his plan A or B, which was to come clean. It was his plan C, and he was forced into it.
This was his plan Z. All right, where are the Democrats demanding he resign? Now, look, if I'm analyzing this politically, it's good for the Republicans. This drag on. It took them all off. All the old people have at least a brief reprieve from being lied to and scared to death.
You would expect to see some senior Democrats coming up very, very soon. I would expect that. Because, as you say, Sean, this is an ugly investigation, and it's going to drag on and on and on. And you don't want that. I think that maybe there's some short-term, strictly short-term political advantage for President Obama. We're talking about Anthony Weiner.
All right, let me ask one last
talking about the economy, which is in the tank.
Now, more details, not only my interview with Megan Broussard, but there's another woman that has come out, and she gives very explicit details about the vernacular for sexual acts. And then he says something about, Jewish girls don't do this. I found that so offensive. You have someone who...
Yes, it is offensive. What's interesting to me is having looked at the Democrats over the past 8 weeks, really, going after Republicans, saying that there's a war against women, that the Republicans are waging against women. You think, like, where are they, and where are the profiles and courage to stand up and say, let's get this over with? I also think it would probably be doing him a favor to push him. You know, push him out,
Democrats
let him recover.
Right. Does he survive, yes or no?
No.
Survive?
No.
How long will it take?
I don't know. But I think he will have to be pushed very forcefully because Congress cannot force him to resign.
But they could vote to expel him. Very unlikely, but they could do that.
It's not going to happen.
Well, that's why should Americans pay for an investigation?
Listen, Nancy Pelosi drained the... Oh, she didn't drain the swamp.
No.
All right.
Swamp
Good to see you
exists.
guys. Thank you.
Spent $5 trillion trying to, though.
Yeah, exactly. Spent $5 trillion in new debt.
Correct.
All right, and deficits. And coming up, which GOP presidential candidate beat out the anointed one in a new Washington Post poll? We're going to tell you. But first, the key issue that could prove to be President Obama's Achilles heel come 2012. Fred Thompson joins us straight ahead. And another one bites the dust. Austin Goolsbee has announced that he's resigning from his post as President Obama's top economic advisor to return to teaching. Now he follows in the footsteps of his predecessor, Christina Romer, who left in September. Add them to the list of other previously departed economic advisors. National Economic Council Director Larry Summers, who was asleep. OMB Director Peter Orszag. And the latest departure comes as the administration attempts to explain away the struggling economy that only seems to be getting worse. Now, according to CBS News, an estimated 45% of unemployed Americans, or about 6.2 million people, have been jobless for more than 6 months. And what does our president have to say about all of that?
There are always going to be bumps on the road to recover. We're going to pass through some rough terrain.
And joining me with reaction in studio tonight, former Tennessee Senator and former presidential candidate, the one and only Fred Thompson. How are you, Senator?
Hey, I'm good. Good.
You doing all right? Family's good?
Doing great. They're doing great.
Well, we love having you back. Any comments about Anthony Weiner?
It's another fine mess you've got to get to the bottom to, Sean. You know, the quality of scandal is going down in this country. You remember Watergate?
You are.
And Baker's question, what did the president know and when did he know it? Now, it's what did the congressman show and when did he show it? Don't you think the quality of the scandals have gone down in this country?
I think it's. I think we're
terrible.
sinking. I really do. Well, I knew I wanted to invite you just for that reason. There you go. You know, all right. So here's USA Today. All right, and I'll just show you. I always clip the newspapers every morning, and you know what it was like. You were doing a radio show. All right, unfunded obligations per household, 534,000. They go on in this story to actually explain. We have a record 61.6 trillion of total financial promises not paid for, on top of the $14 trillion debt that they want to raise. 61 trillion. Can we ever recover from that?
All the good numbers are going down, and all the bad numbers are going up. We're coming out of this recovery with about half the steam, less than half the steam we traditionally do since World War II when we have recessions. Unemployment back up, you know, gasoline prices back up. You know, and the last poll I saw, I don't know, yesterday I guess it was, a Gallup, I guess 65% says country's on the wrong track.
Yeah.
So it's...
Economically, it's higher.
Yeah, it's tough, and the president's going to pay a price for it unless he gets those back up about the middle of next year, I think. I think the trend of where it's going to be going is going to be important, too, if it starts going back up. But he's going to have to hurry, and the people that I talk to don't see any indication that, you know, things are going to turn around soon.